understand the trend first from the market perspective. All of the organizations wants to become data driven and they treat data as a strategic asset. So if that's the goal from the organization perspective, they will hire people who would have getting into the data sources. So what are the sources of data that we need to tap into? We see very different or diverse background people coming into the Master of Business Analytics, particularly if you have done a technical bachelor's, then you would come to business analytics to learn more about the business side of IT. Or if you're coming from the business background, you will be developing technical skills to learn about.
Hi everyone, welcome on board. Welcome to CATKing. This is Anisha here today in conversation with Professor Humza Naseer from Deakin. So welcome on board, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Lovely, sir. It's such a great honor to have you, and I'm sure it's like a very different time zone that you are operating in right now. But so we've heard that from Australia, Deakin is now going to be taking up the course of Masters in Analytics, even in the Gift City campus here.
Yep, so with the Gift City offering, we have actually commenced it from last year. So there is a current cohort who is actually doing the Master of Business Analytics, and we'll be having another intake this year as well in July. So it's not that we haven't launched, we have exactly launched it, but now it's the intake for the second year in progress. So just a little bit of background about myself. I'm the course director of Master of Business Analytics. So I look after the whole program both at the Burwood campus in Australia and also in the Gift City in India as well.
Lovely. That's really interesting, sir. So what made you choose that, we want to start in India as well? Like we've already been established in Australia from so many years.
I think it's a big market that we needed to tap into. Once we did the market research, India came up as the biggest potential in terms of exploring this opportunity. Not only from the perspective of the Indian graduates are really interested in learning about data and the skills around it, but also in terms of creating a market there and also the professionals who are very proficient in using data and analytics as skills to make business ready for informed decision making. So I think just to summarize from the perspective of Deakin in Australia, we already have a lot of students who are coming from India to do our masters. So I think that also led us to believe that maybe we can start something there and then maybe start the process of interaction between the two campuses as well. So this is ongoing interaction that's going at this stage.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. So why do you think, in the current, like the generation which we are right now, why should someone pursue Masters in Business Analytics? I mean, what is it that you will be learning if you're pursuing this?
So let's understand the trend first from the market perspective. All of the organizations wants to become data driven and they treat data as a strategic asset. So if that's the goal from the organization perspective, they will hire people who would have skills to actually harness data from the organization and use it for their leverage or for their advantage. So these are the skills that's now in demand in the industry. So once we think about using data for decision making, we need to have programs that actually deliver these kind of skill set. And Masters in Business Analytics, particularly in Deakin, focuses on how data enables the business and also how we can leverage data to make sure that the organizations are using it for informed decision making.
Interesting. So essentially, so that means when we work in the corporate, this is going to be cross-functional. I mean, whether I am into marketing or finance or operations, data is something which I will be having across the domains.
So all of these business functions have their own data, but if you see it at the organizational level, organization wants to have one view of it rather than different silos in terms of business functions are operating on their own. So we treat it at the organizational level, but we see students who are interested in specialization. So we treat these business functions as specialization that student can do. For example, in the marketing area, in the cybersecurity area, or even in the people analytics, which is HR side. So all of these options are available as specialization in the Master of Business Analytics. But in the end, from the organizational perspective, organization wants to have a holistic view of how data is being used in the organization.
Okay, lovely. And when we are done with the course of Masters in Business Analytics, what do you think are the kind of career options or what are the roles that one gets in the industry?
Okay, so I'll break it down in terms of what we need to learn in the degree. So it starts from getting into the data sources. So what are the sources of data that we need to tap into to make, you can say, the infrastructure for decision making? So there are jobs which are around data integration. And the current title would be data engineers who actually prepare the data sets. Then there are data modeling jobs. So once we have integrated data, then we need to model it to the business processes. So there are modelers job as well, even data architects as well. And then finally, the decision making aspect where we visualize the data. So this is where we use contemporary tools such as from Microsoft Power BI, Tableau as well. So there are data visualization jobs as well. So if you encompass all of this, we train people to become data analysts or business analysts and even data scientists as well.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. So that's like a very different category roles which you are, positioning in the corporate industry. So if you were to say that, who's fit to do an course in business analytics, like do we need some prerequisite skills or knowledge before pursuing this program?
So we see very different or diverse background people coming into the Master of Business Analytics, particularly if you have done a technical bachelor's, then you would come to business analytics to learn more about the business side of IT. Or if you're coming from the business background, you will be developing technical skills to learn about how to manipulate data, all of these things. And also we see students coming from different backgrounds of health as well as marketing from the business side. So we see very diverse cohort that comes to do Master of Business Analytics. What we do is we start from the foundations. So everyone learn the same basics at the start, and then they can start thinking about the specialization and doing some advanced courses.
Okay, that's interesting. So, any parting thoughts that you would like to share with the students, like, who are thinking about business analytics? Should they take up some basic certificate courses before joining the course, or what should they gear themselves up for the next 2 years?
I think the first thing is you need to develop a passion about data. So if you're passionate about data, you want to do something with it, that's the first thing that we need to look after. And then you need to connect with the right people. So maybe you can connect with the alumni from your university who are actually working in the data domain, just to get some information, what sort of roles they are doing, what was their career trajectory as well. So this will help you to foresee and also plan your future as well. Instead of just focusing on reading the books, go and explore the options in the market as well. And the second thing is, if you're particularly interested in doing masters at Deakin, so we are the only university in Victoria who started this master, and we are also accredited from Australian Computer Society. So this is the organization who will accredit your skills if you are thinking about immigration to Australia as well. So just from the perspective of a holistic picture, think about what is the right option for you. But before that, also connect with the people who are actually working or studying in Deakin.
Okay, that's lovely. That's pretty interesting. I think thank you so much, Hamza sir. That was really good to have a discussion about what is business analytics, what kind of career options, and what should the students look forward to. And thank you so much, guys, for listening to us. If you have any more doubts or questions pertaining to business analytics, the career options, what you need to learn, drop in the comments section and we will take them up for you. Thank you so much for joining in, and all the best, everyone.